Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of The Mill on the Floss, In Their Death They Were Not Divided, by George Eliot, narrated by Jill Tanner. This book was first published in 1860. This recording is copyrighted 2003 by Recorded Books. George Eliot was the pen name of Mary Ann Evans Cross. Born in 1819 in Warwickshire, England, she received an ordinary education, embarking on a program of independent study upon leaving school at the age of 16. In 1841, she moved with her father to Coventry, where she had her hereto intense religious devotion shattered upon contact with that city's rationalists and skeptics. Her father's death in 1849 left her with an inheritance that allowed her to pursue her literary inclinations in what was a predominantly male-dominated society. Over the course of her life, she wrote some of the greatest literature in the English language, and has forever been an inspiration to subsequent female writers. She died in 1880. And now, The Mill on the Floss.
Book 1. Boy and Girl. 1. Outside Dorlcote Mill. A wide plain, where the broadening Floss hurries on between its green banks to the sea, and the loving tide rushing to meet it checks its passage with an impetuous embrace. On this mighty tide, the black ships, laden with the fresh-scented fir planks, with rounded sacks of oil-bearing seed, or with the dark glitter of coal, are borne along to the town of St. Ogg's, which shows its aged, fluted red roofs and the broad gables of its wharves between the low wooded hill and the river brink, tinging the water with a soft purple hue under the transient glance of this February sun. Far away on each hand stretch the rich pastures and the patches of dark earth made ready for the seed of broad-leaved green crops, or touched already with the tint of the tender-bladed autumn-sown corn. There is a remnant still of the last year's golden clusters of beehive ricks, rising at intervals beyond the hedgerows. And everywhere the hedgerows are studded with trees. The distant ships seem to be lifting their masts and stretching their red-brown sails close among the branches of the spreading ash. Just by the red-roofed town, the tributary Ripple flows with a lively current into the Floss. How lovely the little river is, with its dark, changing wavelets. It seems to me like a living companion while I wander along the bank and listen to its low, placid voice, as to the voice of one who is deaf and loving. I remember those large, dipping willows. I remember the stone bridge. And this is Dorlcote Mill. I must stand a minute or two here on the bridge and look at it, though the clouds are threatening and it is far on in the afternoon. Even in this leafless time of departing February, it is pleasant to look at. Perhaps the chill, damp season adds a charm to the trimly kept, comfortable dwelling-house, as old as the elms and chestnuts that shelter it from the northern blast. The stream is brimful now, and lies high in this little withy plantation, and half drowns the grassy fringe of the croft in front of the house. As I look at the full stream, the vivid grass, the delicate bright green powder softening the outline of the great trunks and branches that gleam from under the bare purple boughs, I am in love with moistness, and envy the white ducks that are dipping their heads far into the water here among the withes, unmindful of the awkward appearance they make in the drier world above. The rush of the water and the booming of the mill bring a dreamy deafness which seems to heighten the peacefulness of the scene. They are like a great curtain of sound, shutting one out from the world beyond. And now there is the thunder of the huge covered wagon coming home with sacks of grain.